chosen one. The moment you began to cry, heaven took notice. Your tears were never random drops of sorrow. They were keys forged in divine fire. But someone saw the glow of your pain and decided to use it against you. Every time you wept, they collected pieces of your spirit, twisted them into chains, and smiled as you carried the weight of their false comfort. God said they've been studying your weakness, pretending to care just to drain your strength. They watch how you break, how you tremble, and they feed on your compassion. You think you're just emotional, but in truth, your emotions are sacred energy. And when darkness wants to destroy a chosen one, it doesn't attack your body first. It attacks your heart. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. The universe aligned so you could hear what's being revealed now. If your tears have been your prayers, know this: God has heard them all. Write your warmest wishes and 99 in the comments right now. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Don't hold it back any longer. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. This message found you because your tears carry divine codes, and heaven wants to remind you that your pain is not weakness, it's transformation. They wanted your tears because they couldn't create their own light. Every time you cried, they took a piece of that divine frequency, trying to replicate what only God can produce. But the truth is, no one can own the sacred power of your pain. You are the storm they can't predict. Your tears weren't meant to destroy you. They were meant to baptize your purpose. That's why every time you rise after breaking, your glow frightens those who betrayed you. You confuse them because you're not supposed to heal that fast. You're not supposed to still believe in goodness after what they did. But you do. And that's the sign of someone who walks with heaven's fire. God is exposing the ones who pretended to care while secretly rejoicing in your tears. They studied your sadness like a map to find your soul. But now, the same energy they tried to steal will burn their intentions. You'll see their masks fall one by one. Their empathy was manipulation. Their comfort was surveillance. And you will finally understand that the pain they caused was never wasted. It was part of your awakening. There will come a moment soon when you'll feel a deep stillness after crying. That silence isn't emptiness. It's divine recalibration. The universe pauses to realign your destiny when the last tear falls. You are not broken, chosen one. You are being rewritten. They thought your tears would drown you, but instead, you are being purified by them. The same eyes that watched you cry will soon see you shine in ways they can't comprehend. It started when you began to care too deeply. You saw goodness in people who only wanted to see how far they could bend your heart before it shattered. Chosen one, they watched your tears like trophies. Every emotional moment you shared became ammunition in their silent war against your peace. They used your vulnerability as a weapon because they feared your strength when calm. They fed on your empathy, twisting your kindness into a tool of control. But what they never understood is this: your tears are sacred currency. When you cry, heaven listens. When you hurt, creation moves. And now, Everything they use to weaken you is turning into the very thing that will destroy their influence over you. You're not here by coincidence. You were meant to hear this right now, because the veil has finally lifted. You've been guided to reclaim your emotional power. Those tears that fell were never signs of weakness. They were signals of divine transformation. Write your warmest wishes and 99 in the comments. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Don't hold back this time. Let your emotions become light. If this message is stirring something inside you, don't hesitate. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. This isn't just a message. It's a spiritual awakening tailored for your soul. They've tried to study your emotions because they can't understand them. You cry for love, not manipulation. You break because you care, not because you're fragile. They mistook compassion for naivety. But compassion is divine armor, and God is now turning their plots inside out. Every time they laughed behind your back, every time they called you too sensitive, heaven took note. The tears they mocked were recorded in divine archives. Every drop of pain you thought was forgotten is being repurposed for your glory. The energy they tried to absorb is returning to you sevenfold. You'll start noticing something unusual soon. The same people who once made you cry will begin to stumble. Their words will fail. Their charm will fade, because what they fed on is gone. You no longer bleed emotionally for those who never deserved your love. You are stepping into a phase where your tears no longer serve manipulation. They serve manifestation. God is turning your sadness into authority, your heartbreak into vision. They will see you again, but they won't recognize you. You won't be the same person who cried in their presence. You'll be the version God intended all along, untouchable, radiant, reborn. The universe is moving around you now, chosen one. The storms that once made you cry are now obeying your command. Your pain has become prophecy. The same eyes that watched you cry in silence will one day witness your ascension. They'll realize that using your tears was their biggest mistake, because every tear they took carried your divine signature. And that power can't be stolen, only delayed. Your heart is no longer their feeding ground. It's sacred territory protected by light. There comes a moment, chosen one, when the soul refuses to keep bleeding for unworthy hands. That moment is now. You've spent seasons trying to understand why people who claim to love you could also be the ones who caused your deepest wounds. You kept forgiving, hoping your empathy would awaken their hearts. But instead, they learned your language of emotion and used it to manipulate your spirit. They waited for your tears like vultures circling a broken dove. They studied your reactions, memorized your soft spots, and built their power from your pain. But what they don't know is that divine justice is patient, quiet, but precise, and it's already in motion. Every tear you've cried in secret has been counted. Heaven doesn't ignore emotional warfare. When your heart broke, angels took note of the details: who caused it, when it happened, and how it was disguised as love. They recorded every betrayal, because the tears of a chosen one are never just human emotion. They're evidence in the spiritual court. God said they're using your tears against you turning your empathy into guilt, your forgiveness into submission. But he's also saying, it's a trap you no longer have to fall for. You've been tested to recognize manipulation disguised as care. You've been trained by pain to see spiritual deception for what it is. Soon you'll notice how certain faces lose their power over you. Their emotional hooks won't work anymore. You'll hear their familiar words. I miss you. I didn't mean to hurt you. You've changed. But this time, they'll sound hollow, because now your soul knows the pattern. You've cried enough to decode the system. The same ones who made you doubt your worth are the ones who feared the light you carry. That's why they tried to dim it. Your tears became their mirror. They couldn't handle seeing the reflection of their darkness in your compassion. So they blamed you for feeling too much, for caring too deeply, for loving too honestly. But the truth is this: God gave you emotional depth not to make you weak, but to make you prophetic. You feel things before they happen. You sense shifts before others see them. Your tears have always been warnings, signals, translations of divine frequencies. That's why your presence unsettles the wicked. They can't fake authenticity around you, so they try to confuse you with guilt and gaslighting. They want you doubting your perception, questioning your intuition. But those days are over. The era of manipulation ends where self-awareness begins, and you've already crossed that line. Now comes the reversal. The same tears they used to disarm you are turning into your weapons of truth. Every time you cried, you watered your own spiritual garden. You've been growing even in agony, maturing in the soil of your heartbreak. And soon, they'll witness a harvest they didn't believe was possible. They'll see the radiance of someone they thought they broke beyond repair. The same hands that caused your tears will tremble when they realize your tears have built your throne. You were never meant to drown in them. You were meant to rise, shining with a power that can't be replicated or stolen. God's message is clear. What they used against you is now working for you. Chosen one, you've cried your way through lessons that others will never comprehend. Your tears have carried lifetimes of wisdom, and now they're forming a crown of clarity upon your spirit. You no longer break the same way you used to. You no longer apologize for feeling deeply, for seeing through the masks, for noticing the energy behind the smiles. God said they're using your tears against you, but the game is over. Their power depended on your reaction, and you're finally learning the art of sacred silence. You've discovered that your peace terrifies those who once fed on your pain. When you no longer respond, when your eyes no longer overflow, their control collapses. They can't manipulate what doesn't react. You've been chosen for something greater, and your tears were the initiation. You cried your way into awakening. Every drop was data. Every heartbreak was code. You've been decoding humanity's hidden cruelty while remaining gentle. You became the evidence that light can survive even after betrayal. The world doesn't understand the weight you've carried, the loneliness of being misunderstood while being the healer. But heaven understands. And that's why you're hearing this message now. The chapter of crying for the wrong people is closed. From here on, your tears are only for growth, for gratitude, for alignment. The enemy learned long ago that if they can't destroy a chosen one physically, they'll try emotionally. That's why they sent people who appeared broken but carried hidden motives. They wanted to see how long you'd keep saving those who had no intention of being healed. You tried to pour love into their emptiness, but their cups had holes. And now, you finally understand. You can't heal what enjoys being broken. You can't rescue those who use your compassion as their fuel. God didn't ask you to fix them. He asked you to see them. And now that you've seen the pattern, the illusion loses its grip. There's a powerful shift happening inside you right now. Your emotions are being reprogrammed. You're learning that not every pain deserves expression. Not every hurt deserves acknowledgement. Sometimes silence is the loudest victory. You're stepping into emotional mastery. Your tears once symbolized your sensitivity, but now they symbolize your wisdom. You've learned when to release and when to restrain. You've discovered that control isn't about suppression, it's about direction. The river of your heart no longer floods your spirit, it flows with purpose. And as it flows, every person who tried to manipulate your emotions will start to feel exposed. Because they thrived on confusion, but you now radiate clarity. They will come again, chosen one. They always do. They'll test to see if you still cry the same way, if they can still touch the same wound. But this time, the tears won't fall. You'll smile, not from pride, but from awareness. You'll remember how many times you bled for those who rejoiced in your suffering. You'll remember how many times you were guilted for being kind. And you'll feel something divine rise inside you, a quiet fire that says, never again. You've graduated from the lessons pain had to teach. You are no longer the emotional target. You're the observer, the commander, the one who sees through the trap. They can't weaponize what has become your shield. You are the proof that even the softest soul can become unbreakable when aligned with truth. There's a point where the pain becomes sacred, chosen one. You've reached that point. You are no longer crying out of confusion. You're crying out of awakening. Your tears have evolved, no longer a sign of loss, but a signal of release. You've been emptied of everything that was never meant to stay. God allowed the betrayals, the heartbreaks, the silent nights, because each one taught you the cost of discernment. Every manipulator who smiled through your sorrow thought they were winning, but in truth, they were polishing the diamond inside you. They didn't understand that divine souls are refined through emotion, not destroyed by it. Now you stand at the edge of a transformation they can't comprehend. The same people who used your tears as leverage will soon need your strength for survival. You'll see them returning, not to apologize, but to reconnect to your energy. But this time, your spirit will not respond the same way. You'll feel compassion without attachment, love without submission. You'll see their intentions clearly, and where once there was pain, there will be peace. Because now you've learned that not every apology is redemption, not every connection is divine, and not every tear deserves to fall. You'll speak less, observe more, and radiate a stillness that unnerves the wicked. The ones who once fed on your sadness will grow uneasy in your silence. They will sense that you've outgrown their emotional reach. When they tell you, you've changed, smile. Because yes, you've become what pain was preparing you to be. You've become immune to manipulation. You've become fluent in emotional truth. You now understand that love is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how much peace you're willing to protect. And that protection begins with your tears. You've cried enough, chosen one. Now it's time to convert your sorrow into strength. God didn't let those tears fall without purpose. Each one watered a new layer of resilience inside you. You're not fragile. You're forged. The emotional storms that once buried you have turned into the foundation that now carries your destiny. And as you walk forward, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Calm power. That quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove, doesn't need to explain, doesn't need to cry to be understood. The trap was never your tears, it was their interpretation of them. They mistook your softness for surrender, but they've underestimated the divine equation. Pain multiplied by purpose equals transformation. You are now standing on sacred ground built from your own healing. Every time they tried to break you, they contributed to your rebirth. Every tear they mocked became evidence of your eternal connection with God. They can no longer use what they don't understand. Your tears have changed frequency. They are now weapons of light. And now, chosen one, the silence after the storm. This is where everything you've endured finally makes sense. The echoes of your tears are no longer cries of pain. They're the sound of chains breaking. You've survived the emotional warfare designed to dismantle you. You've seen how kindness can be twisted, how empathy can be weaponized, how people can pretend to care while secretly extracting your peace. But even through all that, your light never dimmed. It flickered, yes, but it never went out. That flicker was the pulse of your divinity, the rhythm of your endurance, the proof that you were built for this battle. God said they're using your tears against you, but He also said they won't win because they forgot one sacred truth. Your tears are not water. They are liquid fire. Each one carries the frequency of your destiny. They fell, yes, but not in defeat. They fell to water your resurrection. They fell to call heaven closer. Every time your heart shattered, something invisible was constructed in the unseen realm. A new identity, a sharper discernment, a higher vibration. You are no longer the version of yourself that they manipulated. You have become the storm they feared. They'll still try to test you, to pull you back into their emotional web, but it will fail. Their hooks no longer find purchase in your healed spirit. Look how far you've come. You cried yourself through transformations most souls would never survive. You were buried under betrayal and still found a way to grow flowers from the soil of your heartbreak. The ones who used your tears never realized that they were planting seeds of your strength. Every drop of sadness you released has now returned as divine power. You no longer weep because you're broken. You weep because you've transcended. And when you cry now, heaven moves with you. Your emotions are no longer raw wounds. They're sacred tools that guide you toward truth. You've reclaimed your sensitivity as your greatest weapon. The energy that once drained you will now energize your purpose. You'll begin to notice how effortlessly peace surrounds you. People will sense your transformation and either respect it or flee from it, because peace exposes manipulation, Silence dismantles false power, and love, real love, disarms every weapon meant to wound you. The world won't understand how someone once so tender could become this powerful, this still, this untouchable. But God understands. He built you this way. You were meant to feel deeply so you could see deeply. You were meant to cry so you could cleanse what others hid. You were meant to hurt so that others could heal through your story. So let this be your declaration. Chosen one, your tears no longer belong to them. They no longer belong to the past, the pain, or the betrayal. They belong to your calling. From now on, every tear you shed will be a decree of strength, not sorrow. Every drop will declare that you have mastered your emotions without losing your empathy. You are no longer trapped. You are transformed. The energy they used to drain you now fuels your destiny. The tears they mocked have become your armor. You have risen from your heartbreak, shining with divine awareness. And from this moment forward, every time you feel your eyes welling up, remember, those are not tears of defeat. They are the rain announcing your next awakening. Chosen one, this is the moment when your soul exhales. The war that once raged inside you has quieted, and the silence feels almost foreign. For the first time, the tears you shed are not born of confusion or grief. They are tears of understanding. You've come to see that every heartbreak, every betrayal, every manipulative whisper disguised as concern was part of a divine design to teach you the art of emotional sovereignty. They tried to weaponize your softness, but God was weaponizing your sensitivity. What they thought would break you only baptized you into clarity. They wanted your tears to drain your strength, but those tears have built your throne. They miscalculated the one thing that darkness always forgets. When a chosen one cries, the universe responds. Look around you now. Feel how different the air is. The heaviness that once wrapped around your spirit has lifted. You've walked through emotional fires and emerged without the smell of smoke. You no longer explain your tears to those who mock them. You no longer share your heart with those who mistake vulnerability for weakness. You no longer cry for the same reasons you once did. Because now you know, your tears are sacred. They are signals between you and heaven, not gifts for manipulators to collect. When you cried alone, angels stood guard. When they used your pain for gossip, God turned it into prophecy. Every drop they took without permission has been returned to you as divine strength. Every wound they reopened has become a scar that glows with meaning. You are no longer the same soul that wept beneath their gaze. You are not the trembling heart that feared rejection. You are not the broken spirit begging to be seen. You are a storm refined by grace, a warrior wrapped in light. You've learned to let your silence speak, to let your peace confuse those who once thrived on your reaction. You've learned that not every emotion needs an audience. Not every tear deserves a witness. The power is not in how much you can endure, it's in how much you refuse to give away. You are done giving your energy to those who weaponize empathy. You are done explaining your heart to those who profit from pain. You are done crying for people who never learned to pray for you. Now, chosen one, your tears belong to purpose. They no longer mark weakness. They mark alignment. When you cry now, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're releasing what no longer vibrates with your destiny. The divine uses emotion as transformation, not torment. So let them watch. Let those who used your tears witness your rebirth. Let them see what divine healing looks like. They'll realize too late that what they drained was holy. You were never their emotional supply. You were their mirror, showing them everything they refused to heal. And now, as you walk away from the stage where they performed their pity, the curtain falls. The act is over. God has rewritten your script. The pain that once held you hostage now bows to your purpose. The same energy that tried to drown you is now your wind of ascension. You've entered the phase where your peace cannot be provoked, your love cannot be misused, and your tears cannot be stolen. The light that radiates from your healing will expose every false connection that once drained you. And soon, those who used your tears will remember that they were warned. Don't play with a chosen one's emotions, because those emotions are sacred technology, direct communication with the divine. So as this chapter closes, let your spirit rest. You've survived what was meant to destroy you. You've reclaimed your power, your peace, your purpose. You've learned to cry with awareness, to love with boundaries, and to feel without fear. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your reign. You are no longer trapped in emotional warfare. You are the calm after it. Remember this truth whenever you feel your eyes begin to water. They're not tears of sadness. They're confirmation that your soul is still alive, still pure, still capable of connection despite what it's been through. That purity is your power. And from this moment on, every tear that falls will carry the sound of victory. The trap has been exposed. The cycle has ended. And you, chosen one, have become untouchable.